The cold hum of the station filled the silence. Alone, Alex woke up on a smooth metallic floor, his body aching and head spinning. The room was dimly lit by strange, pulsating lights that moved like they were alive. He sat up slowly, looking around. Nothing he saw was familiar. The walls seemed to breathe, expanding and shrinking as if the station itself had a heartbeat. Alex tried to remember how he got here. He remembered drifting through space in his small shuttle, chasing a faint signal from an unknown source. Then, nothing. Now, he was somewhere completely alien. Panic started to rise in his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm. First, he needed to understand where he was. He stood and walked toward a corridor. The floor made a soft, humming noise under his feet, almost like it was responding to him. The walls shimmered in colors he had never seen, and symbols floated in the air, glowing and fading without any pattern. Alex reached out to touch them, but his hand passed right through, as if they were illusions. A sudden sound made him jump. It was faint, like whispers, soft and distant. He spun around, but there was no one there. Only the lights pulsing rhythmically along the walls. "Hello," he called, his voice echoing strangely in the empty hall. No answer. Just the whispers again, closer this time. He followed the corridor, every step cautious. Then, the corridor opened into a huge room. The ceiling was impossibly high, and machines of unknown purpose lined the walls. Some machines were moving on their own, rotating and shifting as if alive. Alex's eyes widened. He had never seen anything like it. On one side of the room, a platform rose slowly from the floor. It had a console with lights blinking in rapid sequences. Alex approached it, curiosity fighting with fear. He pressed a button, and the console lit up, projecting a hologram into the air. It showed a strange alien map, filled with symbols and glowing lines. A warning message appeared in a language he could not understand. Yet, somehow, he could feel the danger in it, like a warning from the station itself. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the room went dark for a moment. When the lights returned, Alex froze. Shapes were moving in the shadows, tall, slender forms with glowing eyes. They didn't approach him directly but watched, like predators observing prey. Alex held his breath and backed away slowly, not daring to make a sudden move. Then, a soft humming sound came from above. A platform in the center of the room descended, and a door slid open on it, revealing a chamber bathed in an eerie blue light. Alex's heart pounded. The door seemed to invite him in, yet a deep, instinctive fear warned him to stay away. But curiosity won. He stepped inside. The chamber was small but filled with complex machinery. Panels flashed with unknown codes, and a large console dominated the center. Alex approached carefully. As he touched the console, symbols flashed on the screen. Then, a holographic figure appeared. It was humanoid but not human. Its face was featureless, and its body glowed with energy. It raised a hand, and words appeared in Alex's mind, not spoken, but felt. Intruder. Danger. Leave or be assimilated. Alex stumbled back, his mind racing. Assimilated? What did that mean? He looked around, realizing that the room was alive in some way, reacting to him. Every step he took caused lights to flash and panels to shift. He felt like he was being tested, and failure could be deadly. He needed a plan. He couldn't just run blindly. The station was huge, and he had no idea where it would lead. But one thing was certain, he had to understand it. Every instinct in him told him to explore, to learn, to survive. Alex moved toward a wall where a strange map was displayed. Lines connected points that seemed to pulse with life. He traced a finger along one of the paths, and suddenly, a hidden door slid open. A rush of air swept past him, and he felt the station breathe around him. Through the door, he found another corridor, darker than the last. Shadows danced across the walls, and strange symbols glowed intermittently. The whispers grew louder, almost like they were speaking in a language he couldn't understand but somehow felt in his chest. Fear prickled his skin, but so did excitement. He was in a place no human had ever been before. As he walked, he noticed the station reacting to him in subtle ways. Machines shifted to make his path easier, lights illuminated his steps, and doors opened without touching them. It was as if the station was alive and watching him, curious about this human intruder. Then, he reached a massive sealed door at the end of the corridor. Symbols on it flashed violently, and a holographic warning appeared. Do not enter. Intruder will be assimilated. Alex's heart pounded. He had no choice. He had to know what was behind it. Slowly, he reached out to touch the door. The moment his fingers grazed the surface, it began to slide open, revealing a glowing chamber beyond. A wave of energy hit him, and the station hummed louder than ever. The shadows in the corners seemed to move closer, and the whispers rose into a deafening chorus. Alex stepped forward, unsure if he was walking toward knowledge or doom. For the first time, he felt the full weight of being completely alone on an alien station. Yet, a strange thrill ran through him. He was human. He was alive. And whatever this place was, he was about to discover secrets no one had ever seen. Alex stepped into the glowing chamber, his senses alert. The hum of the station was louder here, almost like a heartbeat that pulsed through the floor. The energy in the room made his hair stand on end. He glanced around. The chamber was massive, with walls covered in moving patterns that shimmered like liquid metal. In the center, a platform hovered above the floor, projecting holograms of stars, planets, and strange symbols. Suddenly, he froze. Shapes moved in the shadows around the room. Tall, slender forms with glowing eyes watched him silently. They didn't speak. They didn't move directly toward him. But Alex could feel their attention like a physical force pressing on him. His heart raced. He wanted to run, but the door behind him was already sealed. There was only one way forward. He took a cautious step toward the central platform. The aliens remained in the darkness, studying him. Alex realized they were intelligent, but he could not communicate with them. He needed a plan. Every instinct told him to understand their technology first. If he could prove he was not a threat, maybe he could survive. The platform's holograms shifted as he approached. Lines and symbols formed complex patterns. He touched a floating panel, and a sequence of lights flashed across the room. The aliens tilted their heads, curious. Alex felt a thrill. They were watching his every move, but they were not attacking. Somehow, they were intrigued by him. He noticed a set of devices along the wall. They were strange, alien machines, some resembling tools, others more like weapons. He picked up one that looked harmless, a small device with glowing nodes, and pressed a button. It emitted a soft hum, and lights around the room flickered in response. The aliens shifted slightly. Alex realized the station responded to his actions. It was alive, but it could be influenced. Then, he saw it, a console covered in alien symbols, larger and more complex than anything he had seen so far. He moved toward it carefully. As he touched the console, a panel slid open nearby, revealing a small compartment filled with unknown devices. One of them floated in midair, pulsing with energy. Hesitation filled him for a moment, but he reached out. The moment his fingers grazed it, alarms blared. Red lights flashed, and the room vibrated. The aliens stirred, their glowing eyes fixed on him. He pulled his hand back, but the energy device floated higher, reacting to his presence. He realized he had triggered something. Okay. Think, Alex muttered under his breath. He scanned the console quickly. Patterns moved in ways that seemed almost like a code. He pressed a sequence of buttons, following intuition rather than understanding. Slowly, the energy device stopped floating wildly and hovered steadily. The room calmed. The aliens did not approach, but they seemed more attentive. Alex took a deep breath. He understood that every step here was a challenge, a test. The station, the aliens, the technology, it was all a puzzle. And he was the first human to solve it. Hours passed as he explored further. The station seemed to stretch endlessly, with corridors twisting in impossible directions. Symbols glowed on walls, and doors opened only when he approached. He realized the station was alive in a way that he could interact with, but every wrong move could be fatal. Then he noticed a panel projecting a distant part of the galaxy. A bright pulse moved across the stars, a signal. Without realizing it, Alex pressed a button, and the pulse shot outward. He froze. He had sent a signal beyond the station. The aliens in the room shifted uneasily. He had no idea what he had done. The whispers returned, louder now, almost urgent. Shapes in the shadows moved closer. Alex realized the aliens had detected the signal. They were coming to investigate. Panic surged through him, but he forced himself to focus. He had to survive and understand what he had triggered. The aliens advanced slowly, their glowing eyes piercing the dim light. Alex looked around for an escape or another console to manipulate. He spotted a panel with symbols that seemed to match the energy device he had stabilized earlier. He ran toward it, hoping it could help him. As he pressed the controls, the floor beneath the aliens shifted slightly. Panels rose, walls extended, and a series of traps activated, but not dangerously, just enough to confuse and slow them. Alex realized he could use the station itself as a tool, bending its reactions to his advantage. The aliens stopped, watching him carefully. They seemed to study his actions with fascination. He felt a surge of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they respected ingenuity. Maybe they had never seen a human before. Alex pressed one final sequence on the console. The walls glowed, and a hidden chamber opened nearby. He didn't wait. He ran through the doorway, the aliens pausing at the threshold. He found himself in a narrow corridor leading upward. The energy of the station pulsed around him, alive and watching. Finally, he reached another massive sealed door. Symbols flashed violently, warning him again. He hesitated, knowing the aliens were close behind. But curiosity and survival drove him forward. He pressed his hands to the door, feeling the pulse of the station beneath his fingertips. Slowly, it began to slide open. Inside, he found a chamber larger than any room he had seen so far. Strange machinery filled the space, glowing with a soft, eerie light. In the center floated a massive artifact, humming with energy. Alex's eyes widened. Whatever this was, it was ancient, powerful, and completely alien. The whispers around him became louder, almost urgent. The aliens were coming, drawn by the signal he had sent and his discovery. Alex had only moments to understand the artifact before he would face them directly. For the first time, he realized he wasn't just exploring a station. He was in a living puzzle, and he was the first human to play it. Every move, every choice mattered. One mistake could end him. But one clever solution could change everything. Alex took a deep breath and stepped closer to the artifact. The alien's shapes advanced slowly, but he held his ground. He had survived this far by relying on his wits, his human ingenuity. And now, he would need all of it to face the next challenge. Alex stood in the glowing chamber, staring at the massive alien artifact hovering in the center. Its surface pulsed with energy, casting shadows that danced across the walls. He could feel the station's presence everywhere, alive, observing him. The shapes of the aliens lingered at the edges of the room, their glowing eyes fixed on him. They had been silent watchers so far, but now their curiosity seemed intense, almost expectant. He took a deep breath. Running or hiding would not save him. If he wanted to survive, he had to use his human ingenuity. That had always been his greatest advantage, thinking in ways no one else could, seeing patterns where others only saw chaos. And here, in this alien station, that skill could mean the difference between life and death. Alex stepped closer to the artifact. Panels around it flickered, as if reacting to his presence. He noticed faint lines of energy connecting the artifact to several consoles along the walls. It was like a web, delicate and complex. He had no idea what it did, but instinct told him that understanding it could give him leverage over the station, and maybe even the aliens. He moved to the nearest console. Its interface was completely alien, filled with symbols and lights, but he didn't panic. Instead, he observed. Patterns repeated. Lights pulsed in sequences. He pressed a button, then another, watching how the energy lines reacted. Slowly, he began to manipulate them, nudging the artifact's energy without fully understanding the consequences. The aliens stirred in the shadows, their attention fully on him. Alex realized that they were not attacking because they were curious. No one had ever manipulated the station in this way. His human creativity was surprising them. That thought gave him courage. He wasn't just surviving, he was impressing an entire alien species. Suddenly, a pulse of energy shot from the artifact, and the room shook. Panels shifted, and the floor beneath him vibrated. Alex jumped back but stayed focused. He adjusted his approach, combining several console inputs in a sequence that felt natural. Slowly, the energy lines stabilized. The artifact's glow softened, as if it were responding positively to his actions. Alex felt a spark of triumph. He was learning the language of the station, without words, by observation and experimentation. His ingenuity was turning the tables. The aliens moved closer, their glowing eyes following each movement. He could sense awe in their attention. They had never seen a human manipulate their technology like this. Then he noticed something else, a hidden chamber in one corner of the room, partially concealed by shifting panels. He had not seen it before. The energy lines from the artifact converged toward that chamber, like a river flowing into a hidden reservoir. Alex's curiosity flared. Whatever was inside, it was important. He approached cautiously. The aliens watched silently, not blocking him. He pressed a series of buttons on a nearby console, guiding the energy lines to stabilize the hidden chamber's doors. Slowly, the panels slid open, revealing an ancient alien artifact, smaller but no less powerful than the first. It hummed with a strange energy, and symbols danced across its surface. Alex reached out carefully. The moment his fingers touched it, the artifact responded. Lights flashed, and the room seemed to vibrate with approval. He realized that the two artifacts were linked. Manipulating one affected the other. A thought struck him. He could control more of the station than the aliens had anticipated. The aliens' eyes widened. They took a step forward, then another, but did not attack. Alex felt a surge of confidence. They were observing, fascinated by human ingenuity. He experimented further, moving energy from one artifact to another, testing reactions, stabilizing the system. Every adjustment brought new understanding. The station was alive, but he could communicate with it through clever use of its own systems. Suddenly, alarms blared, echoing through the chamber. A warning flashed across the walls. The energy balance was unstable. The station groaned as if protesting. Alex's heart raced. He had to act quickly. He studied the energy patterns, tracing their paths and predicting reactions. Then, with a precise series of inputs, he redirected the unstable energy safely back into the artifact. The room fell silent. The aliens blinked in shock and awe. Alex realized what had just happened. He had solved a problem the aliens themselves had not been able to control. His human creativity had outmatched their technology. He smiled, feeling a thrill unlike any other. But he knew he wasn't done. The aliens were still watching, intrigued but cautious. He needed to learn more, to explore further, to uncover the full potential of these artifacts. Survival was no longer his only goal. He had the chance to make history, to show the galaxy what humans were capable of. He moved toward a side corridor, following the faint pulse of energy that led deeper into the station. The artifacts hummed in tandem, as if guiding him. Shadows shifted, and the aliens followed at a distance, curious but respecting his ingenuity. Alex's mind raced with possibilities. Each step he took could unlock more secrets, more power, more understanding. Finally, he reached a massive door at the end of the corridor. Symbols flashed a warning: intruder will be assimilated if unworthy. Alex took a deep breath. He had faced danger, confusion, and the unknown. He had survived using nothing but observation, quick thinking, and human creativity. He was ready. He placed his hands on the door. The station seemed to pulse beneath his fingertips. Slowly, it began to slide open. Beyond it lay a chamber larger than any he had entered, filled with strange machinery and glowing artifacts. The energy in the room was intense, almost overwhelming. He stepped inside, ready to confront whatever challenge awaited. Alex knew one thing for certain: he was no ordinary human. His ingenuity had allowed him to survive where others would have failed. And now, the station, and its alien observers, were about to witness the full extent of human creativity. Alex stepped into the massive chamber, his eyes widening at the sight before him. The room was filled with glowing artifacts, humming machinery, and strange, shifting lights. Energy pulsed through the air, making the walls shimmer as if the station itself were alive. The aliens followed cautiously, keeping their distance, their glowing eyes fixed on him. They had watched him survive, adapt, and manipulate their technology. But now, he was about to do something no one had ever seen before. The largest artifact floated in the center of the room, radiating energy in all directions. Alex approached it carefully. He could feel the immense power vibrating through the floor. Every instinct told him to be careful, but he also knew that this was his moment. The aliens had underestimated the ingenuity of a human. He placed his hands on the artifact, studying the energy lines connecting it to the others in the room. The patterns were complex, but Alex had learned to see them in a new way. He realized that by manipulating the energy flow, he could stabilize the station and even unlock hidden potential. His mind worked quickly, recalling every observation and experiment from the past hours. The aliens stirred, moving slightly closer, their glowing eyes following every movement. Alex pressed a sequence of controls on a nearby console, guiding the energy from the central artifact into the smaller ones. Lights flashed, panels shifted, and the energy pulsed in perfect harmony. The station vibrated with approval, and for a moment, Alex felt as if it were smiling at him. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared. A distant section of the station was destabilizing. Without hesitation, Alex adjusted the energy flow, rerouting power to stabilize the system. Machinery whirred and hummed, responding instantly to his commands. The aliens watched in awe, some moving closer, others seemingly trying to understand his actions. Alex realized something incredible. He was not just surviving, he was controlling the station. He was showing the aliens something they had never seen before. Human ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability had allowed him to solve problems they could not. He smiled, feeling a thrill unlike any he had known. With careful precision, Alex connected the remaining artifacts to the energy network. The room glowed brighter than ever, and a wave of power spread through the station. Panels shifted to reveal hidden chambers, corridors, and advanced machinery. The aliens gasped, their glowing eyes widening in shock. They had witnessed humans struggle, but they had never seen one achieve mastery over their technology. Alex took a deep breath. The moment had come. He activated the central artifact fully, and the energy surged through the station. The artifacts responded perfectly, stabilizing the entire structure. Alarms stopped, lights returned to a calm glow, and the station's hum became steady and harmonious. The aliens approached cautiously, studying him, trying to comprehend what they had just witnessed. Then, a message echoed throughout the station in a language Alex could not understand, but he could feel the meaning. Words of admiration, astonishment, and respect filled the air. The aliens were acknowledging him, recognizing his ingenuity, his creativity, and his courage. Alex had done what no one else could. He had mastered their station, solved their problems, and proven the power of human intellect. News of his achievement spread quickly through the alien network. Across the galaxy, signals carried the story of the human who had outsmarted an entire alien station. Leaders, scientists, and explorers listened in disbelief. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, but Alex had shattered that perception. His ingenuity had not only saved the station but also earned him a place of honor among a species far more advanced than any human civilization. The aliens approached him cautiously. One stepped forward, extending a glowing device as if offering recognition. Alex understood instinctively. They were giving him a choice. He could stay and explore the station, learning even more about its technology, or leave and take this knowledge into the galaxy, becoming a bridge between species. Alex looked around the chamber. The station hummed with life, the artifacts pulsing gently in rhythm with his heartbeat. He had survived danger, navigated alien systems, and amazed an entire species with nothing but human skill and ingenuity. He smiled. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but that would never happen again. With a final glance at the central artifact, he made his decision. He stepped toward the exit, the aliens watching silently. Energy flowed through the station, glowing brightly as if acknowledging his choice. Outside, the stars stretched infinitely, waiting to be explored. Alex had become more than a survivor. He had become a symbol of human potential. As he moved toward the shuttle he had found earlier, the aliens followed at a respectful distance. The station remained alive behind him, humming and glowing, a living testament to what one human could achieve. Alex looked back one last time, feeling the thrill of accomplishment. He had not only survived, but he had reshaped the galaxy's perception of humanity. And somewhere, far beyond the station, across billions of miles of space, the message echoed, one human outsmarted an entire alien station. It was a story that would travel faster than light, inspiring awe and respect across the stars. Alex sat in his shuttle, gazing at the galaxy ahead. He had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, proving that human ingenuity could overcome even the most alien of challenges. He smiled, knowing this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, full of mysteries, and he was ready to explore it. For the first time in his life, Alex truly felt the weight and wonder of being human in a galaxy that had never seen one quite like him before.